Both of my parents were very no nonsense. And they told you to do something once, do it the way they told you how to do it the first time. It was very important to succeed, to do things the right way the first time to make them proud. I grew up with boundaries and swift repercussions. Outside of my parents watching me, over me, disciplining me when I stepped out of line, I had this invisible entity that was always there, even when my parents weren't there. And get this, he knew my thoughts. I was frightened as a little kid. I grew up so afraid of making a mistake, so afraid of stepping out of line, so afraid of saying the wrong thing, thinking the wrong thing, doing the wrong thing. I was stepping on eggshells for a large part of my life. It was like the ground was a minefield. And if I stepped in the wrong place, I did the wrong thing, I talked to the wrong person, had the wrong thought, I was going to explode. I had a problem with perfectionism. And it is something that is so debilitating because, newsflash, no one is perfect. Perfectionism keeps you stuck. It keeps you afraid, and it robs you of everything that life has to offer. It robs you of friendships. It robs you of just excitement and knowing that failure is a part of growth. And I found that out even while trying to be perfect, because I did make mistakes. It took a lot of self-discovery to know that I can reach my highest heights and I can leap over tall buildings. Maybe not physically, but in my mind, in my heart, I can take a risk. I can think that thing that is very ambitious. It really opened me up to know that I can do anything. And so can you. I want to do more things that scare me. Do more things that rip me out of my comfort zone. Because that is what life is about. It's about growth. It's about being teachable. People often ask me, how do I know that God exists? You say you can't see him, and maybe it's just because you were told he exists for so long. As a child growing, your foreparents told you, your grandma and your mom and your dad, and you just kept it going. This is how I know that God is real. I know he's real because there's certain things that happened in my life that should have broke me, that should have damaged me for life, and I'm still here. I'm still standing. It's because as a perfectionist, somebody afraid to make mistakes, every single mistake I have made should have crippled me to never try again. I remember when I got into my first car accident. I don't know if anybody's been in a car accident and it's been your fault before. Woo! Not fun. I was coming home from a friend's house and I had to get to work on time. And it was raining and went through a stop sign. My car was crushed. The other person's car was crushed. It was hard. I thought life had ended. I thought, this is what the end of life feels like. This is it. Where do you go from here? I remember going home, parents checking me over, making sure I'm okay, asking me what it was that happened. I remember I had to miss work, and I was like, I missed my pay. I was just so disappointed. Why didn't I leave earlier? Why didn't I know that, okay, raining, you need extra time? Like, all these things you play back in your head. I'm like, that was just dumb. I thought for sure I would never drive again. And my dad, I had to work the next day, and he gave me his car to drive to get to work. And I was like, you're going to trust me with your car after I just totaled my car? And he said, yeah, you have to start driving again. If you wait too long between your accident and when you start driving again, you may never drive again. And you have to drive. You have to go places. You have to get things done. I just remember the weight that was on my shoulders just melt off. That he gave me that grace, that he gave me a chance to not only prove myself to him, but to prove myself to myself to get back on the horse, so to speak, to get back out there, that he knew that it wasn't the end. And it felt so good. Was I nervous? Yes. Was I scared? Yes. But I felt so empowered to know that I had his permission and his faith in me to try again. I want you to know that anything in your life that you have failed at, that you made a mistake, that you feel hurt, or you feel that you cannot come back from, you can. If no one has told you that, if no one's given you their keys, if no one's given you another shot, take it for yourself. Try again. It is not too late. This is the human experience. Things will come that will try to tell you that you're not worthy, that it doesn't make sense. What's the use? It's over. You're finished. It's a lie that we have told ourselves so many times, that we've heard, that we feel. Don't trust it. Trust that because you have breath, that you can keep going. I don't know if you guys looked into the odds of you being here, of me being here, but the odds are mad slim. All those spermatozoids going after the one egg, your parents getting together, meeting there at this bus stop or this movie theater or this gym at the same place at the same time, then their parents doing the same thing. Humans make mistakes. We make mistakes. God makes no mistakes. You are here for a reason. I'm here for a reason. We're here right now engaging with one another for a reason. What can you glean from right now? From every moment, decide what you want to take from it. Decide what you want to experience in each moment. That is up to you. That is you taking control over the life that you have been given. We didn't decide to be here. We didn't sign a permission slip. We didn't check a box that authorized God to put us here. I don't remember doing it. If you remember, please put it down in the comments so we can find out. Please. And this is a forum for us to talk. This is a community. So if I'm saying something that resonates with you, please share it in the comments. If you have a question, if you have insight, if you have personal experience, please put it in the comments. I want to learn from you just as much as, a book that I would read. Everyone's life is a story in self-discovery, in mistakes and lessons learned from those mistakes, and how those lessons were applied to their life so that you could grow. I want to learn from you. So I say this to say we didn't sign anything to be here, and we're not going to sign anything to leave. All of that has already been decided. So we have to know that, and know that we're not here for a long time. We have control over how we process the experiences that we go through. When I was pregnant with my first son, my grandmother passed away. I often say she's my best friend. She was just so funny, so witty. She brought me to Canada. I was devastated when she passed. And when you're pregnant and you're going through something very hard emotionally, people will tell you, oh, you have to keep it together for the baby. You can't really be very emotional. And I'm an empath, and I sense things very easily. And I was so distraught, and I didn't really know what to do with those feelings. I used to cry in the shower so no one would freak out. Oh, the baby, don't cry. So I was going through a very, very hard time. And I remember when I was giving birth to my son, and I had an emergency C-section. And I went into the surgery room, the ER. There was this nurse. I hadn't seen her the whole time before. And she came in. They took my son out, and she kissed me. My grandma had just passed away a couple months before that. and she kissed me. I was so caught off guard. But when she kissed me, every single feeling of despair, of confusion, of fear, of anxiety left me. I felt so seen, so secure, so safe, and no one can tell me that that wasn't like some type of movement from a realm beyond the physical. God moves. When I say you can't see him with your physical eyes, but you can feel him. And he made sure that I had what I needed at that moment. And that's how I know that he's real, because in those moments when you don't know what's going on, there's a message that comes from somewhere to let you know that everything is going to be okay. So if you're going through something right now and you don't know what's going to happen and you're fearful and you're scared, everything is going to be okay. Now, if you have any stories like that where you just didn't know how things were going to fix themselves, how things were going to work out, and they worked out miraculously, I want to hear from you. I want to hear about it. I want to be encouraged. Please share them in the comments below. The human experience is all about bouncing back. It's all about resilience. The human experience is very complex. It's not easy, okay? And none of us make it out alive. How scary is that? But while we're here, we need to make the best of it. We need to decide how we're going to go through this experience. It is messy. It is hard, but it's also beautiful. It's also fun, and we're here together. So let's do this. If you enjoy and appreciate honest, transparent conversations about life, about the human experience, about faith, about God, about rising from the ashes, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. See you next time. Respect.